Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Dr. Helen Patterson, and I am Northumberland County Council's Chief Executive and formerly the Returning Officer this afternoon. And as Returning Officer, it is my responsibility to oversee the running of all elections here in the county and to read out the number of votes cast for each person and formally declare those that have been elected. Having only joined Northumberland Council last Wednesday, this will be the first election that I'm involved with, and I am absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to read out the results for both the Youth Parliament and the Youth Cabinet. I'm really encouraged that so many of our schools and so many young people are taking part, an active part, in youth participation in local and national government. Standing for election at any level, and we've got many councillors here this afternoon, takes great courage. Well done to those who've taken part, even though you may personally have not got the result that you wanted here today. And I hope the experience was positive and that everybody involved will continue to be engaged in future elections. I'd like this opportunity also to thank the young people and their parents and the guardians and the teachers and the school administrators who made this all possible. I'd also like to thank the volunteers who gave up their time to count the tens of thousands of votes cast, the election team that ensured the process was fair and transparent, and of course our print team for printing all the ballot papers. Thank you too to Ben, he doesn't know I'm going to say this. Thank you too to Ben and his team for the months of planning and hard work that have ensured today is a huge success. But before I announce the results, I'm just going to pass over to Ben, who's going to say a few words. Ben.
Good afternoon. My name's Ben Sanderson, and I have the absolute privilege and pleasure of working with all the young people in our Youth Cabinet and Youth Parliament. Each year we hold these elections to kind of get young people from across our county to bring them forward into our Youth Cabinet and Youth Parliament. The Youth Cabinet, we elect 5 young people each year, and they stand for a term of 2 years. With the Youth Parliament, we elect 2 young people each year, and again, they stand for a period of 2 years. Now, every year, it is great to see the number of young people putting themselves forward, and this year is absolutely no exception. In fact, this year, we've had more young people put themselves forward for election than we've ever had before. So it's a massive privilege for myself and my team to be part of making this happen again this year. So this year, we've had over 6,000 young people from across the county taking part and casting votes in schools, in both the Youth Cabinet and the Youth Parliament elections, with over 12,000 votes being cast in total. And that equates to kind of more than a third of our young people in the schools that took part actually having a say in the young people that represent them. As in previous years, we've had middle schools, high schools and secondary schools all taking part. And again, I'd like to reiterate the thanks they're given to the school staff for taking out the time and making it happen within the schools. I know that it can disrupt the day a little bit, but it's massively important to see that our schools and young people are getting an example of the democratic system in process. Now, with all elections, there will be candidates who aren't successful, and that's the sad and unfortunate part of elections. But don't let that deter you from what we're doing. Getting this far is a massive achievement. Putting yourself forward is not something that I would have done and would have been able to do when I was at school. So for actually doing that and getting yourself onto the ballot paper and taking part is a massive achievement. And going forward, there will be plenty of other opportunities, both with us and within schools, to have your voice heard and be part of a decision-making process. Lastly, for those who are elected today, I will be in contact with you over the coming days to arrange when we'll first meet up and we'll start our journey together of working through your campaigns and your promises and your pledges. So we'll be doing that and we'll arrange times to come together. So that just leaves me to hand back to Helen to declare the official results.
Thank you, Ben. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the official declaration. I, Dr. Helen Patterson, the returning officer at the election of members for the UK Youth Cabinet for Northumberland, held on the 15th of February 2023, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the election is as follows. Sarah Ali, 402. Billy Brodie, 564. Piper Chappell, 195. Bailey Cowell, 437. Grace Craig, 143. Gracie Delgado Todd, 515. Jackie Davies, 146. Thomas Alfie Hawkins, 98. James Hickey, 765. Rosie Jobson, 88. Lisa Krause, 114. Roshven Mohammed, 315. Bethany Moore, 165. Ruby Ovenden, 104. John Reeves, 228. Christoph Rizmachuk, 713. Adam Symes, 80. Ruby Teague, 77. Lexi Thornton, 198. Morgan Vincent, 121. And I do hereby declare that Billy Brodie, Bailey Cowell, Gracie Delgado Todd, James Hickey, Christoph Rizmachuk are duly elected for the UK Youth Cabinet for Northumberland. And now, the Youth Parliament. I, Dr. Helen Patterson, the returning officer at the election of members of the UK Youth Parliament for Northumberland, held on the 15th of February 2023, do hereby give notice that the number of votes cast and recorded for each candidate at the election is as follows. Sarah Ali, 397. Gracie Delgado Todd, 645. Jim Doyle, 461. Andrew Duffin, 384. Rhys Gill, 614. Jonah Hackin, 223. James Hickey, 750. Ben Hollings, 218. Evan Johnson, 196. Joe Leyland, 269. Alex McMullen, 242. Grace Miller, 351. Emily Treblecock, 788. And I do hereby declare that James Hickey and Emily Treblecock are duly elected as deputies for the UK Youth Parliament for Northumberland. So that concludes the formal declarations, and clearly I would like to congratulate the successful candidates, and in a moment I'd like to invite you to come and join me at the front of the chamber so we can take some formal photographs. And once again, thank you to everybody involved, both in the chamber and the schools that took part. The candidates who've not been successful, and there's a theme here that Ben and I have been talking about, should be incredibly proud of their achievements. And as I said before, it does take great courage to stand at an election, to put yourself forward. And many of your students, fellow students, voted for you, and I hope if you wish to, and you're able to in the future, you take part in future elections. I'm now going to take the opportunity as returning officer to hand over to the leader of the council, Councillor Sanderson, because I know he would like to say a few words of thanks and encouragement.
Thank you very much. On behalf of everyone, may I thank the returning officer. This is one thing that you do when you go to elections, and that you always are very polite to the returning officer, because the next time you stand for election, you might have the same one, and you want to make sure that you stay on the right side. Or, yes, especially stern ones like Helen. So all I can say to you all is well done. It is a fantastic thing to do, to put your name forward for election. Those of you that have been successful, I look forward to working with you. I hope you will come to our cabinet meetings. You will share in some of the decisions we will make, particularly around areas that are of key importance to you, like, for example, climate change, mental health, the countryside, the environment, and so on. So I really want that to work and look forward to working with you. To those that weren't successful, don't worry about it. Please don't worry about it, because to stand in the first instance, if you don't get enough votes this time, you'll just get more next time. So don't worry about it. You've done brilliantly to get this far. Well done. And the final thing I would say is standing for election and having people put their cross against your name is, for me, still the greatest honour there is. To be able to be picked by your fellow man or fellow woman to say, yes, you're the one we want to represent us going forward. We want you to be our voice and to work and help us go forward. So you now have this fantastic mandate. You have the support of people that you know, that you trust, and they trust you to be able to deliver for them. So well done. It's a fantastic honour. And all I can say is brilliant to all of you that stood for this. Thank you.
So at this point, I think we're going to stop the live streaming, and those that were successful, you should like to come and join me at the front of the chamber, and we'll have some photographs.